Hello, traders. Welcome to my desktop. Hold on just a minute while I get ready. In the meantime, you guys can let me know that you can hear me and see my screen. Testing one, two, three. All right. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it. Hope you're having a great day too. Let me dive in here. Let me duplicate this and get my charts up. And get this on a 15-minute. All right, guys, welcome to the support webinar. My name is Andy, and kind of some crazy action. Hold on, almost there. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to get everything going here. All right. Well, once again, guys, I'm all set. Welcome to the support webinar. So, if you're in here for the first time and we haven't met, my name is Andy. And if you have any questions about the software, about trading, about a stock you want to look at, we'll definitely dive in and handle all those. But other than that, let's get some stuff up here. And well, I had a really good day going. Of course, this market is just so news driven, tariff driven. Oh, I thought we was gonna get a little bounce there. All right, let's take a look real quick at the market while we're waiting for somebody who may have questions or any ideas. We're just kind of sitting here right between our 10 period and our 200 period moving average, not doing a whole lot, but that doesn't mean stocks can't, boy, move around like they're crazy. I'm sitting here watching a lot of these things fall apart on me, and I look over there and the averages are basically flat. I got to load one trade here. I got a lot of this WRD, and I got to make sure I cut some of it if it doesn't bounce here. Crazy stock it is. Gonna have to cut SoFi too, it looks like. This is that WRD I'm talking about. Look at that move this morning. I actually got some of it off. You can see I've been closing out some nice profits in this thing, but then it just, I have a good feeling about this in the long term. I think their deals with Nvidia and Uber are sweet, but boy, it's definitely, especially after this move yesterday. I mean, let's see, 4 days ago, off that huge volume, had a great day on it there. And boy, but since then, it's just been kind of slopping around like a lot of stocks do. So anyway, I'll have that prepared. Let me go ahead and put an alert in case I have to sell some of this. Thought we was gonna get a bounce on that bar reversal there, but the market had other ideas. It's liking this Donkey Kong after earnings. Had a good takeoff to the day. He's trying to bounce now. Thought they had some pretty good numbers. There you go. Trying to get a little lift there. Kodak. 'Cause the reason I'm in Kodak is the last couple of earnings, they were bad, and it had just incredible recovery after selling off real hard. Not doing anything right now, but definitely one to keep an eye on. Bull I bought yesterday and I took some profits on three-quarters of it, sitting on a quarter of it. If it does get back above this level, yeah, I'll just put alert right here. It would need to get back above that level. SoFi should probably a good entry right there. I thought it was going to go earlier right here, and a lot of times I'll anticipate a trade, and of course I added a bunch or added to it, and I didn't do it. Market had other ideas, but it is sitting pretty much on its 10-period moving average right now. See if it can hold this level, or I'm going to have to cut that. The trade desk. This is one of you guys. Anybody that's been listening to me over the last couple of weeks, I've been expecting a bounce like this, and this K Web just went to lows. Probably not going to be good for my WRD. And I scalped a lot, just kind of anticipating a bounce through here. Never got it, but I did hold some. Yesterday I was in it. I love the way it traded yesterday going into earnings, so I held some of that. So that ended up being a good trade. I thought Tesla was going to be off to the races today. I'm just glad I didn't add any more like I normally would when it goes through a level. But I just know the way this stupid market has been lately. But other than that, yeah, it's I've been taking a lot of profits in this market. And when you get a move, taking some off, as you can see in a lot of my closed positions, I just doesn't feel like a market to go all in on, in my opinion. Okay, let's see if this WRD can get a little lift here. I may have to cut this Oklo back off too if it can't hold this 10-period moving average, which it hasn't touched yet. IOQ I bought yesterday after earnings, and it's bleeding on me. No, the only thing you can do customizable to the trade wave is you can't have it create alerts yet. Hopefully that's coming in the future. Hey Mike C, how you doing? The only place you can see that is the Market Explorer. Unfortunately, that's a different technology. We don't have that same technology, and it'd be complicated of using our scaffolding to use that technology, but I know we're working on it to making, we just have so much in the hopper, especially with this money machine coming out. But so sorry about that, Jairus. Hopefully in the future. So Kathy Woods was talking up Tesla this morning, is giving it basically like a $2,600 price target for 2030 or something like that. But I think if it does come down to this 20 period on the 15-minute, I think if it comes back to this, this breakout level could be an interesting point to enter or buy some more if you're already in it. I don't think this WRD is going to trade with the market, but who knows? It's been beaten up so much. Yeah, that's pretty crazy, huh, Mike? I mean, I do think the robotics, and from Optimus, and then of course the robo taxis are going to be a huge seller, and I think Uber will really benefit. Speaking of benefit, Uber's at a pretty good level right here. I'll put a little alert. That thing gets back up. Hey, Mir, how you doing? Doing good. Yeah, doing good. Trading's been well lately. Was a lot better in the early morning, but definitely sitting through some pullback. Yeah, you could. What you can do here. Let me see. Why do I not? Yeah, okay. Honestly, these competitors. But what you can do is just basically go to your symbol list, go to tools, and click on symbol list and create a new list. I'm not sure if you know how to do this and everything, but you basically, if not, I can drop a video and do to walk you through. But you just create a new list and then name it. And then what'll happen is once you click OK, it's going to pull up a blank field, or actually, it's going to drop the list into your symbol list, and then you have to highlight it, and then you have to edit list, and it's going to be blank. And then all you do is just grab your cursor and just go right down like this, and you can copy and paste. You can copy and paste this into the field, I believe. Wait, it's you got to copy Control C. You got to do Control C, I believe. After you, oh, I just closed out my uh, sector watch list. Does that make sense, Jason? Let me know if you need more details on how to do that. But basically, you just use Control C, and then you can. I think it's what is it? Control V to paste, and then you paste it in the watch list. But let me know if you don't know how to do the symbol list, and I can drop you a little quick video in there that'll walk you through it. Let me go pull back up me a sector watch list since I lost it. Sector status, sector analysis. Okay, great, great. I'm glad you got that. See if this word can pop up through this. Yeah, yeah. I was doing the same thing, Jason. I thought there'd be a copy in there, but there's not. QBTS, yeah, strong earnings. It probably needs a digestion period. I don't have a strong opinion right now. I'm in IONQ, which in my opinion is probably the leader. Actually, doesn't look bad right here. If you wanted to add, if I wanted to add to it, I just don't know if I want to add right now. But QBTS, as far as explosive moves, yesterday was the strongest one, pretty much on the board. Massive move. Now for me, if I don't have a position, I'm probably not looking right now. I would rather catch it maybe on a pullback. Uh, I don't know if you're in it or not, or if you're looking to get in it. I mean, that's definitely a big level right there. What is that? All-time highs would be huge. Boy, it's just not the market for buying. I don't think all-time highs. Oh, good, you're in it. I would stay the course. I mean, that's breakaway volume right there. It's huge volume. Uh, I'm always the one that like to peel some off, and then if it does get through, if it does get through 12, man, that's going to be probably be a massive move on top of that because of the short float is still pretty high. Share is not real short. It's not really a low float, I'd say, but still, that's massive. I will look for if it does come back to that $10 level at some point. Look for something there. Well, market has put up a little fight there. That bar right there wicked again, so that could be encouraging for maybe a little move here. And there's the pullback in RUM. I was in RUM earlier. And I broke right through the 10. If it comes down to that level there, I may have to nibble back again. I scalped it out. That was on my list today. RUM, DraftKings. Still liking DraftKings. I may have to add to it if it can get back above. But to answer your question, TBTS Mir, that's yeah, I definitely wouldn't sell it right here, not sell it at all. I mean, you can take some profits, but so DraftKings is sorry, I got a lot of alerts in this thing. See if I can close these. Yeah, makes it so messy on my chart sometimes. Yeah, felt like it could probably make it to this 200 day. Jason says, do you think TI could add ADR percentage average daily range, basically increasing volatility, or you would have to scan for stocks with high volume? Uh, it never hurts to make a feature request, and so you can send us an email, just asking, asking for something like that. If we have time, we can definitely take a look at it and may that's all I can say. If we get enough of them, it's we typically will oblige and do something like that. Jason, but yeah, just send a if you do you know the email? If not, okay, send a there goes the DraftKings. Yeah, just send a email there, and yeah, I think I will have to add that one. I could it might just want to doji though. Seeing a lot of that lately. What's that high going there? 56. Yeah, I'll think about it. Nice, Bill. Cashed out today. Good job. Very nice. Yeah, I did the same thing. I held on. I traded it a lot during that period where I thought it was going to bounce and ended up scalping out a lot. Now I do have an alert. If it does, thought it would catch that moving average and bounce, but and that was a pretty good report. They've been beaten up pretty hard, so I'm gonna try to stick with it. May even add uh, if the market ever straightens out a bit. Let me just put that alert one more notch higher, a couple of notches higher. Good job, Bill. Yeah, I mean, I very seldom will I hold into earnings, but something that was beaten up that much, uh, I'm thinking even if it's not good, it's probably priced in, and if it is good, it's going to see a massive gap. Let's see. Jairus writes, in alert windows, how can you configure to show one instance of a symbol, the latest one? Well, that's hard to do. I mean, basically, what you're saying is if it if there's an event where your configuration satisfies an event and you get a, it's you're definitely going to get the first one. Now you can do one only, but it's not going to it's impossible to do one only and only be the last one. So in other words, the alert window would have to go through and erase all the old ones. So you can't get the latest one. I mean, you can get the first one, but I mean, maybe you can do it every 5 minutes. That would help you, or something like that. That's, I think, in if you uh, let me just pull up an alert window real quick. I'll just go ahead and launch this one. So if you go to don't repeat, you see, I got a don't repeat on this one. Okay. Obviously, 1 minute is probably a little too quick. You're gonna still gonna get a lot of them. But if you go to maybe a 5 minute, I think that's enough to prevent to really slow down your alert window, because where it becomes a problem is when a stock is ripping and you're getting every one, every single, you know, penny. That's where it becomes an issue. But if you do 5 minutes, or you'll definitely get, the latest one. Yeah, but it doesn't make sense in the alert window to get only the latest one, because like this task, if it hits another one, what's it supposed to do? Remove the first one? It just that can't be done. Yeah, that will never be done. Does that make sense, Jason? I mean, Jairus? You think it could be done? Well, I'm sorry, man. I can promise you right now, our techs are not going to jump on something like that. I mean, it's just, uh, yeah, I've never, we never gotten a recommendation for that. I mean, I think probably the best thing to do is just use that, uh, yeah, don't repeat, maybe every 5 minutes or something like that. You're welcome. You're welcome, Jairus. Gosh, some of this freaking action just drives you crazy. That's why lately I try to buy stocks on weakness, on moving averages that are pulling back. You cannot like chase highs in this market, because I'm doing more of this. I had a position in this already, and in that SoFi, and I took a little bit of profits earlier than I got some, and then I averaged back in, but it needs to hold this 10 period moving average where it sits right now. There's a Donkey Kong alert. I did add a little more of that. See if it can do anything. Yeah, word. Yeah, having a hard time bouncing. Yeah, probably just because this market is just floundering right around lows. I'm thinking we do uh, probably just kind of remain in this range, but it's just incredible how many stocks will just pull back just because we're not going higher. It's crazy. And I think a lot has to do with just liquidity. There's not a lot of liquidity in here. I mean, it's just like the averages are pretty much what's the SPY at right now? Yeah, look at that, down 0.25%, but you got stocks that want to like drive down 4 and 5%. So if you're playing if you're playing the patient game with size, it can be pretty painful. That's why I've been trying to take some profits when I can. Jay, I really don't. I kind of got a good feel just from my 27 years of active trading, but uh, yeah, it's not something I watch as I'm trading. Yeah, this thing's gonna want a doji. Yeah, I think it's more lethargy, Jay, just because of it's so news driven right now, with all the tariff stuff, and I think a lot of people are on pins and needles. I don't think there's any sort of heavy weighted distribution or weakness going on, but it's just the market is. I mean, it's like shorts don't want to be short, longs don't want to be longs. When you can get a headline news, and drop, I think it's best to be long in a situation, but I think you got to be careful how long you are, and I think you got to take profits, take some off the table when you get them because yeah, yeah, you're seeing a lot of that. You're seeing a lot of mean reversion. It's like you dump everything on weakness, you're gonna probably feel bad bad about it an hour later. And the same thing if you don't take profits, if you're getting greedy and thinking we're going to resolve to the upside, which we very well could, but it can be painful, when it doesn't happen and you're loaded up. Spies trying to get a little lift. uh I think the best thing for something like that is just it's a tough one. You could do like a percentage, from close, change from close, and look for things that are up X percent, whatever you feel like is extended in either direction. You got, especially if they're not doing a whole lot of volume. If they're doing crazy amount of relative volume, you got to be careful. But I think just a simple change from closed percentage. I think let's see, biggest gainers would be one of them. You could just do biggest gainers, and so, or if you want to, yeah, you see this one. This one definitely had a reversion to the mean. uh Short, but there you go. uh well, like I said, you have to be careful from with relative volume. It's like, let's see if I can find a few. So no, that's not doing huge relative volume. Not seeing lift earnings play. I'd be careful there as well. So yeah, I mean, we also have some Bollinger Band stuff in there that might work for you, Jay. I'm sorry, I was answering a Steve's over here bugging me. See, this is where I was supposed to be buying, SoFi, but okay, a group and sort function. I thought about that, but do you get those uh, in real time? I mean, Peppy, and do you still have to use a don't repeat? Okay. No, no, no. I wouldn't mess with an earnings play like Lyft. Okay. So there you go. I stand corrected, Jairus. Sort by time descending. But thank you, Peppy. Man, Peppy has all the answers. I did not know you could do that. I thought uh my bad. Jairus, if you're still out there, I hope you got that. Oh yeah, random act of violence. I haven't seen. Yeah, I forgot. I forgot all about that one. That's one I created years ago. Random acts of violence. Let's see what stocks come through there today. I think that's just looking at the term. Let's take a look at the configuration, see what I created here. Probably stocks that are strong that just took a hit all of a sudden. Change from close 2.5%. And the stock composite rating. It's using a stock composite rating of above 70, and it's using a 2.5%. So, and then relative volume, it's got to be two. Forgot about some of those silly names. All right, market, you're just refusing to bounce today. Everybody just kind of wants to hang out, drive stocks down for no reason. And this thing is coming down further. Yeah, that's not what I want to see. May have to go ahead and take profits on this. Tesla is trying to bounce here. Good Lord, man. You dog. I'm going to have to cut some of this. Jeez. Probably wants to go down and tag its 20 period moving average again. David, how you doing, buddy? Would you mess with an earnings play like RGTI? Didn't Steve say he's going to do just that? You know what? I had QBTS going into earnings and I cut it. I said, these things can go either way. I also had RGTI and I cut those. I did buy IONQ after earnings. Yeah, that's such a gamble. It really is, especially on something like that, because you could easily see, a 20%, you know, gap down. It's dangerous. He wasn't holding QBTS, but he did have some RGT. But you know what? I was able to buy it yesterday. Wait, yesterday you can see the wick down, so I was able to get it, even though I sold it. IONQ opened up and got slammed, and so did Rigetti. So I was able to get it pretty close to lows yesterday. Now I ended up buying IONQ off that drive down, uh, and so that's the one I wanted to hold. So I just scalped out of Rigetti yesterday. Yep, Steve bought it too as well. Okay, he is holding it into earnings. Hedge fund mode. Yep, Meta's holding up well. Meta and Microsoft both holding up well after earnings. It's just, I think in this kind of market, it's hard to get momentum after a big gap. I mean, not to say Meta really didn't have as big a move as Microsoft, but the market wants to go lower. Jeez. Even though it's still barely down, just noise. Hold on just a minute. I gotta, all right, sorry about that. I forgot to miss list for my flight this morning and tomorrow morning. Yeah, Kodak's not getting a bounce today. Not yet. And Donkey Kong failed to move higher, just but doing a wick. I don't, Jay. I probably should. I don't pay credence to Congress trading. Oh, I forgot to sell that in here. I did sell it some. That's '06. We're gonna have to sell some more. This little dog. What's that? Wick there and the spies and the cues. All right, let's take a look real quick. Since we only got a few minutes left, Spy is just sitting in here, in actually just no man's land, and Qs are doing the same thing. So I would not be surprised if we just kind of slop around and close, without news coming out. Qs ran into their 200 a couple of days in a row, and seeing weakness intraday. Tesla can pop back above this fast line, but that's still a nice little breakout there in Tesla, and I wouldn't mind adding to the position there if it can pop up, get back above that 300 level. Hey, Mike C. Yeah, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. You have a great weekend. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're just heading out to Florida for about 5 days. I don't know why the weather here has been so nice in Texas for May. I mean, it was like 72 degrees. It feels like San Diego for like the last all of May. So we're very fortunate because it won't be long. I think when we get back, it's going to be hitting 90. So, Thanks, Net Trade. Appreciate it. You have a nice weekend too. Yeah, yeah. It won't. Yeah, another 20 days, man. Yeah, we'll start that brutal stretch for about 4 or 5 months. Hopefully, it'll be I mean, we've had mild ones where it may have only gotten above 100 a couple of times, but yeah, we've had ones where it gotten above 100, you know, 40 times, 40 plus times. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign it off here. Looks like we're all talked out. Keep it tight. Not a whole lot happening in the market, so keep it tight. And man, yeah, see profits, take them because liquidity disappears, and even though the market's not really doing anything, these things just keep bleeding and bleeding and bleeding. Take care, Peppy. Yeah, you're welcome. All right, guys. Everybody have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.